Do people still call other people in their homes? How do they collect the data?
Yes, some of the industry still uses telephone data collection.
Because it's so hard to believe when you see there's polls constantly, especially today. This year again, we have elections in the States and in Canada.
Yep.
So you have, so and so candidates, and so and now 34% and 37%, and I go, where does that come from?
Well, when I started in the industry 30 years ago, I actually started as a telephone interviewer. I couldn't get a job as a professional, and I had to make a living. I had spent a little time in Australia, just sailing around on boats and things like that. But I came to Vancouver and got a job. I think I earned $8.50 an hour in the evenings, calling Canadians and asking them questions about their beer drinking or their toothpaste or whatever consumer survey we were administering. And at that time, almost 100% of the data collection at that time was by telephone. And those were the days when people would pick up their phone, and it was a very lucrative business for certain types of businesses. Fast forward to say 1999 to 2000, the industry started to recognize and realize that the rate of people picking up the phone went down, and there was this new thing called the internet. So we went through this big transformation where a lot of the data collection went from telephone to online. And that was a big, big transformation. The cost of data collection plummeted, because you can imagine that in the old days of market research, there used to be telephone rooms of 150 telephone interviewers, and you have to pay all those people at that time $8.50 an hour. Now there's no human time required to crank out a survey and have someone fill it out on their own time. And so the dynamics of the industry have changed a lot in kind of my career. We can collect data faster and less expensively, but arguably also problematically, it's harder and harder to get a perfect representative sample of any particular market that we're studying. In the old days, when you had a telephone data collection mechanism, you would be able to go to essentially the universe of all Canadians had a telephone. You could draw a perfect random sample. You administer a telephone survey, and now you have a nice, perfect representation of Canadian society. Today, there is no universe of online Canadians that I can draw a perfect random sample. Essentially, it's all convenience sampling. And we've learned tools and techniques to try to draw as best we can a representative sample of Canadians, but the reality is it's not a random pool of respondents. And so we've sometimes gotten ourselves into hot water in, say, making, and most often when we call elections, right? The difference between, calling an election correctly and incorrectly could be, 3 or 4 percentage points difference.
Yeah.
And so sometimes pollsters in the industry have released projections of vote intent that are wrong. And when when Canadians and it happens in the U.S. as well, when Americans go to the polls, there's a change in the vote behavior and we call it wrong. So then, the media loves to call us out and say, oh, the pollsters got it all wrong.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to do because there's all sorts of factors that influence our ability to correctly project.